Hey guys, it's me, Shri from Amber Lash Artistry. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. We've had a lot going on. Just real quick, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a life update on what has been going on, where I've been. So some of you may know, some of you may not, but I am from the state of Colorado, and my husband and I and our kids just relocated to the state of Texas. We've been settling in our home and just kind of trying to enjoy it here and explore. And recently, I just became a licensed esthetician here in the state of Texas. I'm so happy about that. But let's talk hybrid lashes. I tend to do my hybrid lashes different than a lot of other people. I like to use 0.03s other than the 0.06s and 7s, 0.05 volume lashes. With 0.03s, I personally feel like I can control the amount I can place on the natural lash. Let's just get into this video, which is going to be based off of beginner hybrid lash sets. I also like to use flat lashes, 0.15s for these. So depending on the client's natural lash, I will place either less or more according to her lashes.
Okay, so I am going to prep my mannequin head's lashes with some primer, but before that I'm going to tape up those outer corners because on this mannequin head they like to lay on my microfoam tape. So we are just going to lift those up off of the foam pad so that I can have better access to them. I like to lay something over my client's forehead too as well, just so it's comfortable for me and the client. I'm not like rubbing my wrists all over her forehead. But now we are going to just use some primer. This is my primer. So I'm gonna start prepping the lashes so that I can start placing extensions on them. Typically, I usually really get in there. If this was a real client, I usually lift the lid from the crease of the lid and kind of get in all of those layers, kind of like this, with my micro swab. So like I said, I like to use 0.03 mega volumes and 0.15 flat ellipse extensions. If you can see here, I've got an 8.03 mega volume and a 10 classic extension. So in order for you to get that texture of the hybrid set, you want to kind of jump a couple sizes up with your classic extensions. So here I'm grabbing a 10.03 and then a 12.15 classic lash. So I jumped from 10 volume, 11, 12 classic extension. You can even jump up a third size if you wanted to. I'm just going to prep those mega volume lash extensions and brush through them so that it gives me an easier fan. Right here I'm using my Brit tweezer. I like to use her for isolation, inner corners and outer corners, and for mega volume fans. I picked up, I pinched, and now I'm going to dip and use a blooming cup in this part right here. And yes, I'm starting with a mega volume fan. You can start with a classic if you wanted to, but we're going to go in with that first natural lash with a 0.03 mega volume. If you noticed, it was not a wide fan. It was a pretty narrow fan. So she's narrow. We like narrow. Narrow is our friend just as much as a wide. They each have their place. So we placed our 0.03, and you can pick up a lighter amount of extensions for 0.03s if you wanted. It's your preference, it's your choice, and it also depends on your client's natural lash. So we are going to get some adhesive on our classic flat extension. I feel like the flat ellipse extensions give more, and the regular classic extensions can give a different type of texture as well. But if you notice, I went and re-dipped to get that glue to go to the base of the extension and not the middle of that extension, because that can cause that can give you bad retention because we want base to base. Remember that. We're going to go on with the next extension, which is a fan. Then we're going to go to classic. So we're basically doing every other lash. So we're doing a fan, then a classic, a fan, then a classic, a fan, then a classic. So you're basically evenly distributing your classics and your volume or mega volume, depending on which you use. You can even do layered hybrids. There are two different ways you can do those too. I can definitely make those two videos for you guys as well. But yeah, like this is all you do for a beginner hybrid set, full set, even your fills. So you can kind of, for your fills, you can kind of trace back and see what's what and then just do the same thing. I like to start with the inner corners because inner corners tend to get the the crap end of the stick if you don't start with them. I feel like that's what happens and has happened with me in the past with my sets. If I don't start with my inner and outer corners, everything else is fuller. And then when my clients come back, they're like outer corners and inner corners are the main thing that's gone. So I like to start with my inner corners and then go to my outer corners and then work back and forth all the way up until I get to the middle and kind of close in the dill. But I get to a point to where my inner corners are at a certain point, and then I move on and start on the outer corners. If you struggle with inner and outer corners, or if you have like a struggling area, one thing you can do is you can turn your body towards that area that you're struggling with. You can also turn your client's head. So you can turn your body and turn your client's head, or one or the other. Now I'm moving on to the outer corners. So inner and outer corners were my biggest fight for so long. So I was tired of it and told myself, okay, like I'm just gonna like make these my strong point. So now they're my strong point, and like I'm pretty proud of that because inner and outer corners are not freaking easy. But you can turn your body towards your outer corner and lift the outer corner lid with some tape if you needed to, or you can even do tape back method with some tape and pull back those layers and stuff. So there's always a way. There's always a way to get those lashes. So I started with the classic, and then I'm going in with a fan, and then every other lash, like I said, classic, volume, classic, volume. Once I get enough on the outer corner, I start going back and forth. So I'll place one on the outer corner and then go back to the inner corner. I don't know how people do one eye at a time, but if you do or you want to try one eye at a time, this is a good idea, a good way to approach it. You can do your inner corners, like put one on the inner corner, put one on the outer corner, and then just go back and forth until you meet in the middle. I've never done one eye at a time. Well, actually I have. When I first started lashing, I remember doing one eye at a time, and it was a bad idea. Bad idea because the client had to leave earlier than she was expected to. So then I got traumatized from that and was like, okay, I'm going back and forth so that if an emergency were to happen, she ain't running out with one eye. So that's when I started doing both eyes at one time, so going back and forth. But there is no wrong way to do it. It's all preference. It's all what you like to do. It's what's more efficient for you. And remember to replace your adhesive every 20 minutes because that can help with retention tremendously. You need to replace that glue dot. Fresh glue is where it's at, boo. So these are my glue rings, the heart glue rings. They're so cute. They're so nice I like the blooming cups and I like the glue rings pretty evenly. Yeah, I'm always going back and forth with everything. If you notice, my tweezers are probably going to change in this video too. So I'm always switching out with a blooming cup to a glue ring, from a boot tweezer to a freaking 90-degree angle tweezer to a freaking curved tweezer. I'm always switching it up, always. If you struggle with picking up classic extensions, it's good to have a little sticky dot there on your tile or wherever you're lashing from. Really, you can just put a sticky dot there and then just grab a bunch of classic extensions, put them on the sticky dot, and then separate them. And they're ready to be picked up. So we're going to pick up some Mega Volume .03s. I do the pinching method. I do have my straight tweezers usually while I'm lashing still in that hand, and I kind of flip it upside down so it gets out of my way, and then I'll pinch, dip, isolate, and place. I do get a lot of questions on how I pinch and lash at the same time. I've made some videos on my TikTok on that subject, but I can also make a YouTube video for you guys if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, all I'm doing is every other lash, and hopefully I haven't bored you guys yet. But yeah, the rest of this video is just me finishing up this mannequin's lashes because she needs some. She's sad. I'm just gonna let you guys kind of chill and watch me lash. Now I'm finally done, and usually with a real life client, I will finish up after I place my last extension. I wait a minute to 2 minutes to apply my super bonder, and then I use my handheld fan to dry them. I also check for stickies before I apply the super bonder. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much, but let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions, any video requests. I'd be happy to make some YouTube now. Make sure you guys hit that subscription button so you don't miss out on any new videos that I'm going to be making, guys. I'm going to be better, promise. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and on TikTok. Thank you guys for being here and allowing me to be a part of your lash journey. I love you all. Happy lashing. See you guys later.